A fashion diva, Queen Marie Antoinette was renowned for her amazing attire and hairstyles that defied gravity. She was executed by guillotine in 1793 as a result of the revolution's rage at her lavish lifestyle. Although she became associated with affluence, she was a kind person who didn't deserve her cruel end. Marie Antoinette, the 15th child of the Habsburg Empress Maria Theresa, was born in Austria in 1755. Antoinette struggled with reading, writing, and other languages as a young child, and she quickly gained a reputation for being simple-minded. She still had trouble writing in her native German at the age of 10. However, those who were close to her said that she was a pleasant and kind young lady who loved music and the arts. She became engaged to the French Dauphin, who would grow up to be King Louis XVI of France, quite quickly while she was a little girl. Following her engagement, a group of French diplomats was sent to instruct the young royal on how to dress appropriately for a queen, or how to style herself in a fashionable manner. Marie had a reputation for being shallow and fixated on clothing and fashion, but this label was thrust upon her at a very young age. She had a thorough makeover after her engagement in order to conform to the prevailing French beauty standards of the time. Her modest, typically Austrian attire was criticized, and her crooked teeth were fixed with the use of an early kind of braces. New arrivals to the Palace of Versailles had to master hundreds of etiquette standards at this period, since France had very intricate court rituals. In a way befitting a queen, Antoinette was trained to conform within this strict and snooty milieu. By the age of 14, Antoinette had been married to the Dauphin, who was only 15 years old, and had been sent to the Palace of Versailles, where she had a highly prominent existence. She spent most of her time mingling in groups of powerful notables until she went to bed late at night, being dressed each day by a troupe of handmaidens. She wrote to her mother as a teenager, lamenting how much she missed Austria and detested the invasion of her privacy. When she was younger, and barely able to speak French, she just did what was required of her. Later in life, she struggled to get any privacy for herself. Marie Antoinette, who became the Queen of France at the age of 19, embraced her position with zeal, but lacked chemistry with the monarch. While Marie was cheerful and energetic, Louis XVI was reserved and loved practical activities. While Louis went to bed early, she was infamous for staying up late to drink, gamble, and hang out with other members of the French court. The inability of the couple to legally end their marriage for over 7 years hampered their relationship. Even though postponing the wedding night with a young bride was not uncommon, Antoinette's fear arose due to the protracted gap while she was in her 20s. The young prince said that having intercourse was just too uncomfortable for him, despite the fact that physicians who visited him declared that there was no obvious problem when questioned. Embarrassing allegations that the monarch was physically flawed and hence unable to perform the deed circulated across Europe. The Holy Roman Emperor Joseph II finally showed up to the court to settle the dispute. Emperor Joseph stated that the royal pair were only blunderers, who did not grasp what they were physically required to accomplish. Historians continue to argue what may have physically been wrong with the monarch. Whatever Louis heard from the emperor, however, seems to have addressed the issue, since Marie Antoinette was pregnant soon after. Although it is said that Antoinette had at least one affair with a Swedish count called Axel von Fersen later in life, she would have several children with Louis. At the time, it was said he was the father of at least one of the queen's many children. Marie Antoinette plunged into the world of fashion, finery, and court gossip while trapped in an unsatisfactory marriage with plenty of money to spare. The queen had a grandiose sense of style, which was very popular with her wealthy peers at the time. She wore colorfully patterned dresses in English and Polish styles. Many magnificent ensembles she made with the assistance of her personal designer, Rose Burden, altered current fashion trends. She was caught up in a fashion competition with other nobility to produce the tallest, most extravagant hairstyle imaginable, since Antoinette's hairstyles were so well known. Unfortunately, the queen's wasteful actions were not kept a secret for very long. She was increasingly made fun of in satirical literature of the day for her outrageously extravagant way of living, even gaining the moniker Madame Deficit for the money she spent on frivolous luxuries. Along with her hair and clothing, Marie also adorned her own residence, the Petit Trianon, her grave estate at Versailles, which she designed magnificent gardens for, and is still a well-liked tourist destination today. As concerns about Antoinette's spending practices grew, her mother wrote to tell her that her opulent way of living was inappropriate. France at this time was deeply in debt as a result of poor financial management and several expensive wars. It was the very worst moment for the French queen to flaunt her enormous fortune. While Marie was certainly frivolous and out of touch, she was also giving and caring. She seemed to care about other people and tried to do her best to ensure that the underprivileged in her area had a taste of a decent life. Because she had learned that many of the poorer residents would not be able to pay the regular Queen's Belt fee, she refused to receive the money. She also invested a lot of time in philanthropic causes, adopted several orphans, and constructed homes for the destitute people living in the nation. Even while she did some noteworthy humanitarian work, it wasn't enough to close the gap between her and the broader population. France experienced pandemonium in 1788 as a result of a severe crop failure and an unconscionable increase in bread prices throughout the nation. It's said that when the people's lack of bread was disclosed to the Queen, she said, "Let them eat cake," in response to the news. Even while this might seem like a made-up tale, it illustrates just how uneducated the populace thought their queen to be. As each new day dawned, the pandemonium became larger and larger, until the royals were compelled to disguise themselves in an effort to escape the kingdom. This was a drop of water that turned into an ocean. This endeavor, however, was unsuccessful because the enraged demonstrators discovered and caught them. The royals were taken into custody and locked up, but because of the populace's animosity for Queen Antoinette, allegations were leveled up against her, for which she was charged and given a death sentence. Antoinette was one of the first casualties of the Revolutionary Terror, a dreadful time when nearly 17,000 nobility and counter-revolutionaries were mercilessly killed. She was despised in her lifetime, but now many remember her as the sad victim of one of history's deadliest revolutions. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.